Because the Agenda 2030 provides the framework for holistic, I would say, integrated and cohesive and coherent approach to sustainable development. And honestly, the social dimension of sustainable development, it's present in almost every sustainable development goal.
Rethinking and strengthening social development in the contemporary world. That will be the main theme of this year's discussions of the Commission on Social Development.
This year the Commission for Social Development will meet just a few months after the adoption of the 2030 Agenda, and of course social development themes are very much at the core of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
The Commission will take place during the first 2 weeks of February.
It is critical to focus on the social perspective of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Definitely there is no one-size-fits-all policy when we are talking about social development. However, there is always best practices and good examples that policymakers should embrace, should indeed adopt.
The session will have 3 panel discussions focusing on various issues related to social development, such as implementation, emerging issues, and inclusion of persons with disabilities.
People with disabilities are mentioned 11 times in the Sustainable Development 2030 Agenda, so it is ambitious that the Commission for Social Development has a very important role to play when it comes to the implementation and monitoring of this agenda, taking into account that the agenda focuses on no leaving anyone behind, no leaving people with disabilities behind.
Successful social development policies need to be evidence-based and they need to be data-driven. In order to make progress towards the 17 goals and 169 targets, you need to be able to track this progress in a meaningful way.
In addition to the high-level panel discussions, there will be over 30 side events organized by the civil society. As this is the policy year, the Commission will adopt final reports on the main theme as well as on the emerging issues.
If we believe that social development is talking about enabling people, enabling populations to contribute positively in their societies, then we should agree that a quality education system most probably will ensure, indeed, a social policy, a social development that addresses inequality, addresses poverty eradication, employment, and social inclusion.
2016 is important because it's the first year of the implementation process. So the way we begin this implementation could be, let's say, the way to lead the process for the next 15 years. That's why the CSOD meeting now, in its policy year, the 54th session, it's so important.
A development framework that is people-centered can only succeed if it embraces the social dimension of sustainable development goals. This is because people are and must remain the focus of global, national, and local development efforts.